Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of entitled people. In today's episode, my grandmother tried to steal my apartment and make me go back to my parents so she could punish me. Pill poacher. What do I do now? Guy who I hired to cut my grass bi-weekly is mad that I didn't remind him to come and cut my grass. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My grandmother tried to steal my apartment and make me go back to my parents so she could punish me. I'm 29 and had been dealing with this for some time, but recently this became ridiculous. My grandmother is the most special person I ever knew, and with special, I mean one of the most frustrating, entitled, narcissistic, condescending *tch on earth. She believed that she is the matriarch of the family, the highest authority that we all must obey, and for that, she had done a lot of things to all the family over the years, and recently I became her main objective. A couple months ago, she organized a family meeting on her house. Believing it was just a family meal, we all went, and when everyone were there, she revealed her true intentions. It was a trap. Apparently, someone told my grandmother that I was dating a girl, my girlfriend, and basically she exposed me to all the family in that moment. I haven't even told my parents about it yet. The following 30 minutes were a non-stop humiliation in front of all my family, saying how a failure I was, a shame to the family, a sinner, and how embarrassed she was that all her church's friends knew I was a shameless pervert. When I couldn't take her shit anymore, I got up from my chair, just to be slapped in the face by her for disrespect her. After seeing that the rest of the family finally intervened, getting her apart before she tried to pull my hair. The following weeks, she was nothing more than a constant headache. Endless calls and text messages, telling me such beautiful things as that I will burn for my sins, that I was a disgrace, that I should stop fooling around and correct my life. She even lectured my parents, demanding that they correct me, to make me quit my job and find a husband, because that was the right thing to do and what I should be doing. Also, she took every chance she got to say how evil and selfish I was for ruining her good image. Last Saturday, she outdid herself. While I was in my apartment, there was a knock on the door, and when I opened it, I saw that it was her. By that point, I was no longer trying to hide my displeasure from her, and I just said, "Ah, it's you. What do you want?" Without being invited to come in, she went into my house, began to look around the place with an obvious gesture of disgust and disapproval on her face, and then turned to see me with that look of superiority, as if she were doing me a favor just for being there. She told me that she had already given me more than enough time to reconsider and correct my life, so she was there so that I could apologize to her. I just laughed sarcastically and told her that she was crazy and that she could go now. She then started lecturing me with the same speech again, but I didn't take it. I interrupted her and let out all the things I've wanted to tell her for a long time. That she was a stupid old witch, that she was not an authority figure to anyone, that her presence alone ruins our day, that nobody can stand her. That she is such a horrible and suffocating grandmother and mother, that she should not make it strange that none of her children love her or visit her unless she forces them to. I knew I had hurt her by the way she tensed her face and how she tried to hide the tears in her eyes. It was then that she said, "Enough. I can see that you don't understand the good way, so I will have to correct you in the old way. Give me the keys to this place. You will return to your parents, and you will be grounded until you learn to obey and do what I ordered." I still had the keys in my hand from when I opened the door, to which she extended hers, as if waiting for me to give them to her. I laughed. I laughed out loud. This was too ridiculous that I couldn't take it seriously, and apparently that made her so mad that she lunged at me, trying to grab my keys. We struggled. There were screams, things falling out of place. The witch got to the point of digging her nails into my arms and biting my hands. The scandal was such that a couple of neighbors went out to see what was going on, and when my grandmother saw them, she started shouting that I was a thief and was trying to rob her house. Obviously, they didn't believe him. They were my neighbors. They knew me. They separated her from me, and when she saw that they did not believe her and that I would not obey her, She threatened me with, "Your parents will know about this," and left. Since then, she had been telling to everyone how it insulted her and violently attacked her. We all know her. We all know she is a liar. She just makes everyone lives harder. Slapped you at 29. What are you waiting for to go no contact? This relationship needs to end. In case you are depending on her financially, your freedom and well-being not worth her money. No contact. More like restraining order. She assaulted you. I don't depend on her in any way. Me, my mother, and all the family had tried and see before, but just never work. Yeah, you need to call the cops and get ahead of this. She will get you charged and arrested to force you into what she wants. Call the cops and press charges. Get your neighbors to make statements. Don't leave this. Also set up a doorbell camera. If you do nothing, then you are asking for more trouble. I'm going to buy the cameras. Knowing her is just a matter of time for her to show here again. Call the police. Press charges. Your neighbors are witnesses and file a restraining order. You should have called the police the second she attacked you and pressed charges. That's the only thing that old Bat will understand. Press charges. Get a restraining order. Block her phone number. Go no contact. Never see her ever again as much as you can help it. Pill poacher. What do I do now? I've commented on a few posts, but this is my first actual post. Canadian 53F. Hold on for a long ride. I've had arthritis since I was a teenager. I tried not to take painkillers early on, as I know it can be a vicious cycle, having to increase the dosage all the time. However, I've gotten to the point of no choice anymore. The pain makes me cry when I wake up, and that's with the ever-increasing dosages. I've had 3 joint replacement surgeries, our hip, our knee, and our shoulder, and require the other 3 surgeries, not to mention, my spine is full of arthritis and degenerating discs. So my pain meds are very necessary. A little more background, sorry. So I live in a basement apartment. I have a chairlift. Last year, I had new neighbors move in. They seemed like a nice couple, offered to help me out when I needed. I was paying them to help clean and such, but I stopped when I found I was paying for them and not much was getting done. Not to mention that they owe me money they borrowed. I know, I'm stupid, and they're half of cable for the last year. Oh, and I'm letting them drive my car right now because I can't yet and I didn't want it sitting. I know. So in February I noticed that I was missing pain meds, a lot of pain meds. I was lucky my doctor was understanding, but I still got shorted about 10 days out of 60 days, as I had a 2-month supply. I couldn't accuse anyone because I couldn't prove it, and maybe I did make a mistake, but I was sure I was right. Anywho, that made me have to go through a total reverse shoulder replacement surgery without my proper meds. Not a happy camper. On to the other day. I was supposed to have an appointment with my physiotherapist, and I guess I messed up the date and asked if they would pick me up. I get home and I noticed my pill bottle wasn't how I left it, and there was a pill on the floor. I lost it. I called them and said I want them back. Didn't even deny it, just put the little bag they filled and said, "Sorry, I hurt my back." I said, "First, if you did hurt yourself, changing my sheets, I have a really hard time and they're using my car. You could have at least asked." Then I looked around and realized they still had a lot more. So I said, "The rest are my keys back." Got another handful, but I know they have more. I'm sorry, but where do you get off? Stealing someone's medication. I'm so beyond pissed. But worse, I'm hurt at this entitlement. I've done so much for them to be treated like this. What do I do now? They're much more than entitled. They're felons. Press charges. Not sure I understand. They have the keys to your apartment and the use of your car, but you know they have been stealing from you, and you have not taken all your keys back already? That seems like the next step. If you can't trust them to have access to your apartment, then don't let them have access to it. Get your keys back, or better yet, change the locks, because pill thieves don't stop. They just keep on. And I would get some type of cabinet that locks. Did you ask them, why didn't you go see your doctor and get your own pain meds? The answer is probably that they don't really need them, but are taking them because they are pill heads. Some people will take anything. which is why there are people who OD after buying a pill off someone, and they don't even know what's really in it. They may also be selling your meds, and that could get you in trouble for not keeping them out of their ability to access them. Also, you really need to file a police report, just in case someone gets sick taking your meds. They can just as easily say, "Op gave me these meds," and since you never reported the theft, you could go to jail. I'm confused on why they even have access to your apartment. Either way, you should probably call the cops on them because what they are doing is stealing. Also, stop giving them money and take your keys back from them, and don't let them use your car again. Can you cut off their access to the cable? If you can, I would. If they don't want to pay their half of the bill, then they don't get cable. These people do not sound like friends. To me, it sounds like they're using you. If you can, I would start taking my pain meds with me everywhere I go. If you have a purse or bag or something that you can take with you everywhere, put them in that and never let it out of your sight. Also, if you can, get cameras for your apartment. That way, if anyone does steal your pills again, you will have it recorded and have proof of who it was for the police. Good luck. Guy who I hired to cut my grass bi-weekly is mad that I didn't remind him to come and cut my grass. A while ago, I hired a new guy to come and cut the grass at my house. He did a great job and told me, "I can cut it for you every 2 weeks for $65 if that sounds good," to which I replied, "Sounds good." So we agreed that every 2 weeks, he'd come out and cut it. He initially cut it on April 22nd, so he was supposed to cut it again on May 6th. Around that time, I know he said every 2 weeks. Where's this guy at? He doesn't show up, and I don't even worry about it, as the grass still looks decent to me. Fast forward to May 11th, and the grass has grown, and my neighbor lets me know that he noticed my grass getting tall, and that his uncle cuts grass for many of the houses in our neighborhood, and turns out he's cheaper than the original guy. This sounds good to me, as I'm thinking the other guy never came around or let me know why he didn't show up, so I assume he's just not doing it, so I pay for my neighbor's uncle to cut my grass. Fast forward again to May 14th, today, and I get a random text saying, "On my way to cut your grass," from the original guy. I tell him, "Hey, no need. We might have to reschedule this because I got it cut Saturday." Then this guy responds, "We agreed that I'd cut it every 2 weeks. Sure, I was a few days over, but you should have called and reminded me." I respond, "I remember agreeing to you cutting the grass every 2 weeks, but it's been 22 days since you last cut it, 3 weeks. So I assumed you just weren't coming and someone else came and offered to cut the grass Saturday." He wanted me to remind him of when to do his job for his business. I don't think that falls on the customer to remind the company of scheduled appointments, and the company gets upset after essentially going MIA until randomly texting you again one day saying they're ready LOL. He snoozed and he lost. Reminder for businesses that need to come from the customer? That is a good one. I just slapped my knee while laughing. Classic. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.